All right, all right. Welcome
Was
to
good,
and Die Golfing. What's good with you, Big Sif?
man. We've been getting torrential rains here for the last 5 days. It's crazy, man. All the way up until
Wow.
Tuesday, man. So no golf around the Carolina.
Oh man, that sucks. That sucks. We just had the U.S. Open. We had a little marine layer with little light sprinkles, but no rain like we had a couple weeks ago. And now the weather's perfect.
Hey, can,
75.
can you explain? Can you explain that to me? Because I heard that several times during the course of the tournament. Marine
Uh-huh.
layer. They were saying that this marine layer is hovering, and the guy should be able to. Something about it keeps the wind away, or
So maybe that course, LA City proper, uh, Santa Monica, all up and down the coast, and even actually at the LA Country Club, maybe like 10 miles from the beach. So the ocean brings in moisture called a marine layer. And usually in the mornings in LA, you'll have like it looks cloudy like it's going to rain, but basically it's just the humidity and the moisture from the ocean that covers the city. And then around 10 or 11, sometimes even 9, the sun will disperse the humidity in the water and burn off the marine layer.
got it.
And that's LA weather. I'm sure San Francisco gets it. I'm sure San Diego gets it. Up and down the coast, they get it. And about 10 or 15 miles, it goes, the marine layer will go all the way, maybe 15 miles inland from the ocean. Everybody's pretty close to the ocean, closer to the ocean than what people think when they see LA. 10,
Right.
15 miles, you at the water. I mean, you could be in Watson, Compton, you still 15 less than 20 miles to the ocean. You know what I mean?
True.
So, and you get a marine layer, and then it'll eventually burn off, and it'll be 70, 75. So the first day, that Thursday, the marine layer was really heavy because the weather itself wasn't going to be that sunny. So it wasn't enough sun to burn off the marine layer early. Plus, we got a little drizzle. So it softened up the course. And then as the days went on, the marine layer got shorter and shorter and shorter. You know what I mean? This week is probably be perfect. They
Right.
would have they would have had a faster, harder course. LA Open, that course is beautiful. That course is very exclusive, which okay, I'm not torn, but I gotta keep it 100. I'm glad they did it at the LA Country Club, kind of,
Mm.
because it brought $15 million to a par three course that most inner city kids, including myself, learn golf on.
Wow.
You know what I
You know,
mean? So you go to the range, you get introduced to golf, you either get lessons or some of the older cats will just give you free tips when you first start to play golf, right?
right.
Then they tell you go to Maggie Hathaway and play the par 3 9 course. Don't go to a real course yet. Don't go to an 18. Don't go to a par 72 course. You'll only slow up the course. See, we was trained right. You know what I mean? Like, don't go clogging up the course and you don't know what the hell you're doing. Go to
Right.
the par 3 for at least a year and learn golf. And so
Right.
that's where we are. You grow up in LA, in the city, you're going to go to Maggie Hathaway. And
Mm.
it's a par 3 course, and you're going to learn the best you can, at least etiquette, um, the rules of golf, some kind of swing, you know what I mean? So you can get to the next level and play real courses, right? So
I
they
love it.
received $15 million to totally redo that par 3 course that probably 99% of cats in LA and the surrounding areas learned on. So that's a
That-
blessing. That's a blessing, right?
That's an injection there, bro.
Huh? Yeah, that's a blessing. They might put a center there. It's, if they build it, no matter, we've had first tees and all kind of stuff there, and it hasn't worked out as it should be. But if you have proper structure and you have the proper facilities, a change is easy to happen where you could funnel more people into golf from that great facility. So I
Right.
never disregard how great and what a blessing great facilities is. You could change who runs it. You can change the programs that run through that facility, but if the
Right.
facility is top notch, that's usually that's usually more than half the battle to get people introduced to golf the right way. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
no doubt. And to your point, when you migrate those cats who are just learning the game into a place like, was it Maggie Hathaway?
Maggie
Then
Hathaway.
what it does is, man, it makes them more acute to when they go play other golf courses, and now they
Exactly.
understand. So to be honest with you, the big boys love for people to matriculate into some of the smaller courses like the Maggie Hathaway, so that when they come, they ain't holding up the course, they ain't
It
doing
should be
nothing.
mandatory.
Right,
It
I
should
agree.
be it should be mandatory. You get out there, we play courses. I play courses out here. It's people that just started golf 3 days ago, clogging up the course.
Don't get me
It's really
started, bro.
disrespectful. It's not fun for anyone.
No,
It can't be fun for the people who's playing. You know what I mean? Some of them, they got forced carries, water. They're not ready for that. Go to
nah,
your local par 3, 9, learn golf, have fun. You can still drink beer and enjoy yourself at the par 3. Get to a point to where you can go to a regulation style course.
dig it.
Um, LA Open was, I mean, the Open was nice. I always considered that the People's Championship, and it just wasn't that many people for the People's Championship for probably a host of reasons. It's in Beverly Hills. I'm sure Beverly Hills had some kind of restriction. Parking was crazy. Transportation to and from probably was crazy. Although the Genesis is down the street in Brentwood, another very high value area. But a lot the parking is different. They'll park at the VA, they have shuttles. They just worked it out a little better where they can have many, many more thousands of people go to the Riv instead of LA Country Club. But I thought the course was gorgeous. I thought it
Oh, no
was
doubt.
softer because of the marine layer, but you know, hey, I think the Open should be played at courses like that. I just wish they took that money and rehabbed like a public course, like uh, your great uncle won up the street at Cheviot Hills, right?
Right,
How
right.
dope that would have been if they would have took 15, 20 million, redone the public course, bring back that nostalgia, and have actually a US Open. Because I promise you, they all look the same. It's just the conditions are different,
No
right?
doubt.
But the layouts are the same. Uh, the Riv, Norwood, Cheviot Hills, Griffin Park courses. I promise you, the layouts are the same. It's just the conditions are one is public and one is private. You know what I
No doubt.
mean? But the
No doubt.
layouts and the architecture, the same architects did a lot of those county courses, is the same as the private courses, to be totally honest. The topography
Agreed.
is the same. And, so that's my take on it. I still enjoyed it. It was nice. Well, what else is going on, Big Sif, before we bring on our guest?
Not much, man. Like I said, here in the Carolinas, man, we've had rain for the past 4 or 5 days, and so I've been able to sit down and catch up on current affairs. With this submarine deal. I think the one thing that the Lord does is he allows it to rain so you can sit still and
Yeah. And
have
take
some
note.
solid. But
And take
then
note.
when you start watching the news and
Oh
you're
my
saying,
God, the submarine, and it's not even. Let's call it. It's a submersible. Basically, it's a tuna can
right,
that they went and did real science behind the capsule part, so it wouldn't crush in, and you can get 2 miles deep. And there's people's dads and husbands and family members inside that thing, and we want them to come home safe, and we want them to be safe. But come on,
come on,
man.
come on, man.
Come on.
You got
I
that
don't
kind
even
of
think it had it. I didn't even think it had a propeller.
man.
I think that
You can go to YouTube and look at the Titanic. I mean, you can zoom in. I mean, I just don't understand that logic, man, of spending that kind of money to go see something 2 miles below sea level and the potentials. Like one of the guys even said, he said, the thing is, the guys who went on the front end, they were good. He said, but the more times you take that capsule down there with that type of pressure, man, you're loosening up something.
that pressure is creepy. First of all, quit playing with the ocean.
Quit
The
playing with those.
ocean is not to be messed with.
deadly.
It's not to, just like space is not to really be messed with, the ocean is not to be played with. Quit playing with the ocean. There's things in the ocean, there's pressure in the ocean that we have no knowledge of, just like in space. Now, I don't mind exploration. You know what I mean? I don't mind, I don't mind the submersible being able to go 2 miles, right? But keep doing the research so you can survive.
Right.
Keep doing the research so maybe you can get that low and come right back up. But you took that thing on a sightseeing tour with non-oceanic people just paying money to be a guest on a sightseeing tour.
Well, see,
Like you at the
but that's
bottom
my
glass
whole
boat
point.
in Hawaii. Stop
But,
it. Don't
but
play
that's
with
my
the
whole
ocean.
point, man. The thing is, if there were 5 guys who were scientists who they structure this thing from they know everything that it does, I don't have a problem with it, man. But you got a philanthropist who decides that he's the scientist, and now all of a sudden you're inviting people to go for 250,000. Come on, man.
Come on, they did the same. I remember I was in high school and they did the same thing with the Challenger. They brought teachers on the Challenger to go up into space, and within 10 minutes it exploded into tiny bits. Quit playing with space. Quit playing with the ocean. It's needed. Private funding is needed. Most of the, but it's not for play. 2 miles under the ocean is not a plaything, and definitely not a sightseeing tour. But hopefully they can be found. We want to get these people back to their families. Unfortunately, I think they got a half a day left of air if they're still
Thursday
alive.
morning,
Huh?
tomorrow morning, 5 a.m.
Or they done paid $250,000 for their tomb.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, but prayers still go up, and let's take the earth serious. Can we do that? Can we take the earth serious? All right, let's get to some golf stuff. What's up with your guest, Big Sif? Tell us a little about it before we bring them on.
Man, I was over in Greensboro a couple of weeks ago at a celebrity event, and so I'm sitting at the bar. I'm pounding Tito's and cranberries. Uh, I mean,
like that.
I don't even want to hear about them anymore. I'm pounding them. And a good friend that that went with me, they had a sidebar conversation with the guy, and I'm looking like, I wasn't really paying him any attention because I'm pounding Tito's and cranberry. So anyway, my good friend introduced Russ to me and told me a little bit about Russ, and Russ was kind of enthralled that, I was the nephew of Charlie Sifford, and that's how the conversation generated, man. And he told me he was from Britain and he was in town on business, and then we started talking about black golf, British black golfers, and some of the things that they're doing
I follow
abroad,
them on IG. I follow them on
changing
IG.
the landscape and some of the diversity things that they're doing across the pond, man. I told him, and I think I called you on the spot, man.
Yeah. I forgot where I was at, but I was just like, yeah, bring him on.
Yeah, so I said we got to get him on, man. So I know it's late it's very late over there. But, he made some sacrifices to come on. So man, bring Russ on to the table, man. Bring him on out.
Let's get him in the big picture. Let me see if I can get him where we want him. If I can move it around a little bit. There we go. All right.
How we doing, guys?
Welcome, Russ. Welcome on to the podcast. I love it. I love diversity in golf, but I also love just making human connections in golf, no matter where we are in the world. And because we all speak the same language if you golfers, and we all got commonalities if we golf. And I just love that to the T. Okay, give us a brief history on you and how'd you got into golf and what you're doing over there across the pond, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, firstly, guys, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Sif, since going back from Greensboro, I've told everybody about our conversation and how crazy it was that we got to meet. It's just a series of coincidences, right, that we've managed to talk and how closely aligned we are. It's amazing. So delighted to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me. Long may it continue. So I've been playing golf for probably only about 5 or 6 years now, and it was interesting that you mentioned about the Maggie Hathaway course and the fact that there's $15 million being pumped into that potentially as a result of the Open, and that's amazing because the course that I'm a member of, it's more of a driving range, but it's in an underprivileged area. So it's amazing to see these kids coming through that wouldn't normally have an opportunity to play golf, would probably look and think, what's this game all about? But because the facility's there, there's a chance for them to learn, which is just incredible, right? And for me, it really hits home about what I've been doing with Black British golfers and those guys over there. So that whole episode of the Black British golfers was also a bit of a coincidence and something that I was kind of proactive in sort of pursuing. And Sif, I explained this to you when we met in Greensboro. So a bit more background about the Black British golfers. So I was watching a Sky Sports News documentary about Black British golfers and the prejudice that happens and you know the outright racism that people experience on golf courses. And it really hit me hard when there was a young lad interviewed, 14 years of age, going to play golf with his father. Some white dude come out of the golf club and said, sorry guys, you lost, this is a golf course. And I just remember going, oh my God, it was like a punch in the face. Like for me, I was ashamed of being a white guy. Somebody's still that uneducated that they can say this sort of thing to a kid and his dad going to enjoy the game of golf. What hit me even harder was when Ray Nibalo, the interviewer from Black British Golfers, said to the kid, how did that make you feel? You know what his response was? I felt sorry for the guy. Now, for me, that's amazing. That's just absolutely incredible. And I think it hit me more from a selfish point of view because I've got 2 children, 2 boys. I take them to the golf course sometimes. Nice. I'm never ever going to experience that prejudice. I'm a white dude. It's not going to happen. And I can't comprehend on how this kid must have been feeling. But the way he responded at 14 years old was just breathtaking. So that night I couldn't sleep. I thought, what can I do to make a difference? What can I do to help? What can I do to, you know, help underprivileged kids from any background get into golf? What can I help break the prejudice barrier for black golfers? I don't know. I couldn't sleep at night. I could not sleep at night, and I thought I've got to reach out to this Ray dude and see what there is I can do. And if I could, my whole thing was if I can change one person's opinion or educate one person regarding prejudice, then I've done a good thing because they can pass it on. And it's all about education for me. Racism, prejudice is taught. It's taught, and that's also facts in my opinion. So that's how Sif and I met. My mind was blown that Uncle Charlie, incredible, what a man. And yeah, I've told everyone about you guys since I've come back, and it's amazing, right? That we're miles and miles away from each other, but we can connect like this, so we can sort of help get exposure. You know, I've spoke to Black British golfers since we've been back. Zane Scotland's keen to jump on. Do you guys know the band Rudimental? Have you heard of them? No. You'll know their music if I play you one of their songs. I won't do that now, but they're a friend of mine's one of the lead singers, Leon Roll. He goes by the name of Locksmith. He's mad crazy golf. Insane. So
nice.
He wants to get on. He wants to help create exposure. And look, we've got a common goal, right? We've got a common goal. People should enjoy golf. People should enjoy anything they want to do in life, no matter what background they're from. and that's what I'm here to try and help change the opinions of. But being part of this is incredible. So thank you again, guys. Really appreciate it.
Love the story. Love your story. Love your experiences, because we have that, and I know you talk to Sif a lot, and especially about Dr. Sif, Big Unc, and his experiences in the '60s and so on. And there's many, many more too that experienced that. And you think we always were taught, to be honest, that across the pond was a little more gentler and a little more open than America was in some cases, but obviously not. That's everywhere. Obviously
Look,
not.
It's really rare that you'll see black guys on the golf course.
Yeah.
Like the people turn their heads when they see a black guy on the golf course. They look.
Okay.
And that's wrong instantly for me. Like, for me, that should be a guy playing golf. Doesn't matter the color of his skin, his background, but you don't see it often. And in continental Europe, you see it even less. Like, I go to Spain quite a lot to play golf because the weather's a bit more favorable than London. I can't remember seeing one black guy playing golf out there.
Playing golf.
It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And you say that it's a bit softer over here. Yes, the UK have made great strides, and corporations of sort of pushing the sort of equal opportunities barrier, and they're doing a great job of it. I've got different opinions on why they're doing that, but they're doing it.
Yeah, we do too.
They're pushing the narrative, which is a good thing. It's hopefully educating the right people that need to be educated. But I mean, I told Sif this when we met in Greensboro. I was a police officer here in London for 6 years. Don't judge me. And I was a young guy, right? I was 19 years old when I joined the police force. And my second week patrolling the streets of East London, I experienced firsthand a police officer being brutally racist to a guy. Absolutely brutally racist to a guy. And I was a young dude. I was like, whoa, is this what it's all about? Like, and I didn't say anything. And I was ashamed that I didn't say anything at the time. I knew it was wrong. I knew it wasn't an acceptable thing to say. But I just let it go over my head. I was young. I was not confident enough to say, hang on a minute, that's wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what I wanted to do to him, but so yeah, and that's 15 years ago, right? Yeah. So it's still modern day.
Still modern day stuff. Crazy. Big Sif.
Hey, Russ, let me ask you a question. How are you guys? I don't know the population in terms of per capita, in terms of how many people of color that reside in your area. I know it's not like the U.S., but how are you guys introducing young people of color into the game of golf across the pond? What's the carrot? What carrot are you using to introduce them, to bring them into the game?
So my vision comes from, I guess, my own experiences. My wife and I used to live on a golf course before I played golf, and it was a public course. I used to take the dog for a walk on the golf course, and I used to watch these guys playing golf, thinking, "What are they doing? Hitting a small ball into a hole, picking it out of the hole, and doing it all over again." It was insane. I come from a soccer background, and it wasn't until somebody got me into golf and I hit that first shot out of the middle of the club that made me think, "Oh, that felt nice. I want to do this again. I want to do this again. Look, I sucked. I was terrible. I was absolutely terrible." And we all are when we start playing golf, right? But there's something in this sport that it sucks you in over and over again. It might be that one shot. It might be as you advance. It might be that one round. But the feeling you get, and I think it gives you that discipline as well. Golf etiquette for me is really important. And I think you can take that into everyday life as well. And it gives you kind of that, not only whilst you're teeing it up, but it gives you discipline. It gives you sort of a hobby. It's a sport, but it's a hobby. It's a good social environment. It's everything about it's wonderful. So my vision is to take that to sort of underprivileged backgrounds or you know, young black guys that are otherwise have nothing else to do apart from roam around on the streets because they're from an underprivileged background. So my vision, which I've spoke to Ray over at Black British Golfers about briefly, is to look at taking a portable golf net with just a simulator screen to these underprivileged areas with a bag of golf clubs and say, come over here, guys, come and have a go at this. Giving them a few pointers, just making them realize that this is a sport, this is a potential lifestyle that's going to give you that kind of discipline, that drive and determination to become good at something, and hopefully spark some interest in people. Look, like I said, I used to look at golfers thinking, what a terrible game, I'm not that interested in that, until I hit that first one out of the sweet spot. So
That's
if I
smart.
can get 5 kids to do that, then brilliant.
No, that's smart, because we had the Latinas Golfers Association on a couple of months back, and she would always say, she was at the U.S. Open, and she does great work out here in California and Asasuna, and she says in her community and the Latino community out here, it's a huge Latino community in California. She was like, we have to go to them. They're not going to come to us. We can't wait on them to figure out how to get to the course and come and figure out. We have to take it to them. And once you get exposed, you're going to be you're going to become an addict. And that taking that as little as some clubs, a portable net, and a screen to where they are, because it don't take a lot of space, and you get kids around, and you might have 10 kids, but if 2 hit that ball good, you might have golfers for life that would would have never played golf ever in their life or be exposed to that. And that is a wonderful, wonderful idea, because sometimes we expect the choir to already come to the church, when sometimes you got to take the church and go find the choir to make a choir. And a lot of golfers think like that. Come there, it's nice here. What are you waiting on? Like, they don't even know it's nice. They don't even know it existed. You have to go if you want to change. If you want some participation, we got to go to them. That's a great, great, great idea. Big Sif.
No, I agree 100%, man. And we've talked about that before. We've had a lot of guests on the show, and determining what methods should we use in order to matriculate these young people in the game of golf. So I guess moving forward, the thing is you've got, I've spoken to you, Russ, about what poverty looks like over in across the pond. We know what poverty looks like in our state. Manny's from LA. I'm from North Carolina. The projects are the projects, pretty much no matter where you go. And social conditions. Go ahead, man. What was you gonna say?
No, yeah. That's why it's called a project. It was socially, civically engineered to be the same, no matter what state you in.
Exactly. So I guess my point is, I've seen guys, particularly from Africa, from Uganda, and I've seen it firsthand because they've come here to Livingstone College and they've done well, and they come from nothing. And you're talking about these kids that don't have anything and really had no formal introductory to the game of golf, just by visual aid, picking up a stick and making a ball and hitting it. So I guess my point is, um, for you guys across the pond, do you think that your kids have that burning desire, um, to take up the game naturally, innately, without being pushed? And I'll say this, in terms of being in the States where I'm from, our kids aren't going to do that unless it's put in front of them. They're going to go pick up a basketball, they're going to pick up a football, but they're not going to go out and find a golf club or a tennis racket or a soccer ball and start playing it unless someone puts it in front of them. So are you guys putting that golf club in front of them?
Yeah, and it's the same here. I think unless you put that golf club in front of them, I don't think the kids from particularly underprivileged backgrounds will go, okay, I'm going to go and play golf, or I'm going to build my own golf club and try and hit a ball made out of paper, whatever. I don't think they're going to do that. It's interesting you mentioned about the guys over in Uganda, because the guy that taught me to play golf is a Nigerian guy, really, really close friend of mine now. He taught my son how to swing a golf club. He's a real disciplinarian when it comes to teaching. Love him. He's a great guy. I'll run through a brick wall for him. But he comes from an underprivileged background. I've never asked him what got him into golf. I'm going to tomorrow when I speak to him. But it's the same here. It's the same here, Sif. It's which my idea sort of speaks volumes. You need to take it to them to be able to go, look, have a go at this. This is how you grip the club. This is how you turn your body in order to strike the golf ball. That for me, that's the only way to do it. That's the only way to do it. And
I think so too.
And I think with as much exposure as we possibly can, from my own experience, looking back at when I was a youngster, golf wasn't cool. Golf was knee-high socks, smart trousers, perfectly pressed collar. Now we've got hoods in golf, and we've got like 3/4 length trousers. We've got cool trainers that you could wear in the street and look like normal trainers. So golf's changing, I think, in a good way that is likely to make kids go, "Ooh, what's this?" and turn their heads a little bit more than maybe it would have done 15, 20 years ago. So good things are happening. Good things are happening. And I don't think it's a difficult thing to sell to kids from underprivileged background or minorities that golf's a cool sport.
Yeah.
Golf, it's a good thing to do. And the more social media emerges and you get these guys, like I mentioned, Rudimental, my pal Locksmith, he's a cool guy, right? These kids on the street will listen to his tunes. They will follow him on Instagram. He recently did a post on an IG the other day, saying, "I'm now known as Lockie the golfer, not Lockie from Rudimental. If you ask me, are you Lockie from Rudimental? I'm going to ignore you. I'm Lockie the golfer now." He's cool. He's cool. But these kids listen to his music, right? So that's got to influence people. It's got to influence people.
It's true. So, it's true. But between the fashion changes, the Jordan shoes, the Eastside Golf, the Deuce Golf, the Buck Fogey Golf, I like to just say everybody's name. If you look cool, and we have like Macklemore out here plays. What's my boy from Compton? He played. So we're starting. DJ Khaled now is playing, and so 50's trying to get into it. So when kids see what they already follow, they're going to do what they follow. And golf hadn't always been like that. We've seen a crazy U-turn, 360-degree change here and I'm sure across the pond in the last 5 years, I say. I think it's only been maybe 5 years. Tiger came on the scene 20-something years ago, but it piqued our interest in our generation, but it didn't change the hip and the cool factor.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't change the hip and the cool factor. It just, we was interested in the athleticism of Tiger, but but it didn't change the culture. We actually now, no matter where you are, England, here, any state, it is a culture now. We have golf culture now with clothes and language, and there's more women involved and there's more minorities involved, and you get to see people doing things you never got to see 10 years ago because of social media. So I think we will see, if you're across the pond, you'll see people, they're going to always love soccer, but they're going to probably like golf too. If you're over here, we're going to always like basketball and our version of football, the NFL, but they might pick up clubs too. So we are seeing a change. I'm glad all of us are in the middle of this cultural change, because that's what it's going to take. 20 years from now, they'll look back and be like, what? People didn't like golf? What are you talking about? Yeah. We all golf. That's what I hope to see.
But we have
more.
Go ahead, man.
No.
But the thing is, and you're absolutely 100% right. And that's why now we have to um, create an infrastructure. There's already an infrastructure for quote golf, but
Hmm.
there's bigger things coming down the pipe that I don't know if the old quote golf is ready for. Just like you
True.
alluded, you got cats, man, that's going out there like this now. You got the boom boxes. I mean, you got
You got the
like
hoodies
you
on.
got the hoodies. I mean, you got the Jays. So that's a whole different, it's almost like that old money. They always talk about the old money. It dies out. And then the people that the youngest that get the old money, they're gonna run right through it. So that's what we're looking at right now, man. We're looking at kids who are coming on the scene that are totally different, man. And we can't combat it. We have to accept it. And I think that's where
Yeah.
we miss the boat. Because you're not gonna do a golf course is not gonna do 15, 20,000 rounds a month if they're not accepting this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. I think the way. Well, I think public golf is at a great change. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
no
Because that's
doubt.
what the catch all. It's a catch all,
Right.
and I'm sure I know in California we've done a great job with the public courses. It's relatively affordable. You're going out. If you do Twilight, you can play Twilight all day for $27. You know
Right.
what I mean? If you play midday Saturday, I mean early Saturday, it's still like $67, $47. You know what I mean? I think the way private courses are run it needs to have a change. We have some, and
No doubt.
there's two kind of courses out here in Cali. So we have an equity course where you pay your 25 to 100,000, and you have an equity ownership, and you get assessments and all that. Those are the exclusive clubs. Then you do have private clubs where it's a monthly payment, just like you go into a gym, right? But it's a little more. You pay 500 a month, 450 a month, uh, and you have full access to play golf, but you have no equity stake. You
Right.
know what I mean? You're just locked into like maybe a year's lease, and then after the first year, you can just pay monthly. And if you don't want to pay monthly, you don't do it anymore. So there's two different types of clubs out here in Cali. I'm sure they're everywhere. The rich is always going to have whatever they're going to have because they
Right.
like, we're not going to stop that. You know what I mean? But as far as some of the other country clubs, pay per play, like monthly fees, I think we're going to see a sea change in that also. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully. Um,
The exclusively rich are going to always have
oh, they're going to do what they're
what
going
they
to do.
want.
They're
But
just
the
going to do
ones
it.
who think they're rich, they're going to have to bend if they want to continue to keep that club
Yeah,
flowing. Or they're going to
definitely.
assess the hell out of people where they run them off. And the
Yeah,
thing is,
because
as well as I do, your golf course is only as good as the young people that are coming behind. No different than church.
it's
So
true.
if you're not willing to accept Tupac and Biggie at 10, and you're gonna run those guys off into something else. But one other question I had for Russ though, what advice would you give someone that wants to approach an international company for sponsorship? What are the possibilities, collaborative opportunities?
Good question. Um, I think there's lots of opportunities out there to do it. I mean, look, I work in the legal technology sector and work with lots and lots of different corporations across the globe, essentially. Um, Look, it's just about speaking to people. It's
Mm,
just about having the balls to pick up the phone and go, look, this is what we're doing. We need your brand behind us to help us push this out to the masses, change the narrative, get kids involved in golf, get minorities involved in golf from a young age, change the complete narrative, doing something amazing that's life changing for so many different people.
hmm.
I'm the sort of guy that will go. I'll find the phone number of a CEO at one of the global banks, and I'll phone them up and I'll say, look, this is what I do for a living. Let me come and do a demonstration of our platform to you. And they often go, oh, this guy's got balls, and they just let me in. So I think that I think
Nice.
it's just I think it's just reaching out and just going for it, right? I think with the more you stop and think about, what am I going to say to this guy? I want to get through to him. Is he going to answer? What if he turns me down? If you don't ask, you don't get. So for me, I can draw my sort of business experience, my sales experience, and just go for it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, we can talk more offline about all of this, but for me, my advice, if you want something in life, go out there and get it. Go out there and ask for it, because if you don't ask for it, people don't know that you want it. Like Manny, you
True.
mentioned about sort of the golf club owners needing to change the narrative. I think golf club owners should put an incentive in place to get kids from an underprivileged background or minority children or any children for that matter into golf.
It's
Like
true.
make it reachable for them. Like they're doing the right thing. And Sif, you made a fantastic point. Unless they're going to accept the caps turned around and hoods up, 20 years time, when these kids are the future, the golf course will just be real estate.
Yeah, because that's
Because
what
it's
they
not a
want.
profitable business.
Yeah, because that's really
Yeah.
what they want to turn courses into housing. You know what I mean?
course.
So the rich don't care because they're going to always have their golf courses.
Right.
Let's just keep it 100.
Fact.
They could care
Yeah.
less, but they're probably like, yeah, close them all up. Let's put houses on there. It's much more money. But people like us that have always played and grew up on public courses and semi-private courses, that's the lifeblood. We have no public courses. There will never be a diversity in golf ever, because
Agreed.
they say that even like in Africa, where you either play at a private country club or you don't play.
Right.
The country is never invested in public golf courses over there. And, so that is our life's blood. Public courses, semi-private courses. And, I think we're lucky. We do have opportunity to play pretty good courses for a reasonable rate all the time. So that's a blessing out here. I think the market for public and semi-private courses will still be around. We'll always have to fight developers, though. We'll always have to, because they see, especially in California, they will put a housing tract anywhere they can. They just, people say, oh, they're leaving California. We 38 million strong here, and they're looking to build more houses any and everywhere they can. And golf courses, like they said, even in LA at the Open, that land is worth $8 billion. I think it's worth more because it's right in the heart of Century City in Beverly Hills. Yeah, that land is worth $50 billion. Easy.
Yeah.
What, 40 acres? 300 acres in the middle of Beverly Hills, please. That's a $50 billion land plot for sure.
By the way, a 299-yard par 3.
Crazy,
man.
crazy. I mean, I liked the differences. You know what I mean? I don't know about the 300 par 3. I don't know. That was kind of, to me, they had a 140-yard par 3 and a 300-yard par 3. I don't know if it was gimmicky, but in my heart, I was like, that was kind of gimmicky. Just my personal opinion.
It was different.
I didn't like. I'm gonna tell you what else I didn't like. On the finishing hole on number 18, I didn't like the fairway being wide as Interstate 95.
Oh yeah, that was a huge fairway.
I mean, you saw he didn't hit a cut, he hit a slice.
Yeah.
And
it still was in the fairway.
Still was in the fairway. That finishing, I just like the finishing holes to a major to be diabolical.
Yeah,
it's not like when I get through 16, 17, I can say.
But the last 3 holes were a little crazy because they were all like 500 yard, 510, 540 yard par 4s. The last 16, 17, and 18. But yeah, I thought the course looked good. I thought they carved it out a little bit too much. I didn't think they had to make it that long, because obviously that didn't stop anybody from doing, when you're a professional golfer, I think length is a tactic to make hard scores. Right. I think rough, I think thinning those fairways, I think dog legs, I think perfectly placed bunkers and water. That's how who cares if you can hit the ball 400 yards if it's going to land in the water?
Right.
or if it's going to land in 6 inch deep rough, bombs away. But right now, they're bombing away with no penalty.
Right.
So they're never going to stop bombing away.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you can just bomb away and hack it out with a wedge 80 yards to the green, but if that rough was really rough and you didn't know if it was going to go 1 inch or 1,000 feet, So I think, that's my opinion. I don't stop trying to stop the ball flight and make even short courses can be hard.
Hell yeah.
Even
Then you
short
got
courses,
ball.
length will not get you a brutal score of -2 on the overall 4-day tournament.
You go down to Harbor Town will eat your ass up because you have to bend your ball, man. Every tee shot, man. That's what got Hurl in trouble the last day. He's got a par 5 right in front of him, and he's got to bend it, and he didn't. What happened?
I don't know what happened. But at least we got a good I'm gonna bring my guy back soon as he pops on. At least we got a good it was a good golf tournament. It was a good golf
Yeah,
tournament.
the golf course was beautiful, man.
I thought it was gorgeous.
My dad and I looking at it, and I'm sitting here saying, man, it's almost like it's 3D. And
it's true.
The houses on the hill. I'm like, beautiful golf course. No doubt.
I thought it was a gorgeous golf course. I thought it was. I thought they could have carved it up a little better. But hey, everything is everything. I still enjoyed a little bit of it, most of it. Let's wrap it up. Good. We got a guy. He got up real early to talk to us. You're always family, Russ. I love that you came on, brother. That's how connections are made. That's how golf is going to change with this conversation. I'm glad you and Sif met out in NC, and what a beautiful, beautiful connection we've made. Sif, I'm gonna give you parting words, and then Russ.
Hey Russ, man, I greatly appreciate you coming on, man. It's been awesome. I'm glad to have met you. I'm glad that my friend introduced me or connected us at the bar. And the thing is, I was in the fourth quarter on those Tito's and cranberry, man. I looked around and you had bought me another one. And I said, damn, how am I gonna drink this one, man? But yeah, got up the next morning, met you again. Man, it's awesome. Like I said, it's awesome to connect and knowing that we have the same common denominator, and that's kids and getting kids of color into the game of golf.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
For sure. And yeah, nothing but love, guys. It's been such a pleasure. And Sif, meeting you coincidentally was just a beautiful thing, right? And let's keep pushing that word out there. Let's do what we can. I'm going to get out there. I'm not going to stop talking about what we're doing. And we'll get the Black British golfers on there and Zane and a few others. But yeah, look, this is amazing. Love it. This is worth not going to bed for, by the way.
Thanks so much for your time. We're gonna let you get it. We're gonna let you get it in. You always family, Russ. Anything you got going, anything you want to get off your chest, you can always come on here. Once you on here, you family, and we keep the connections going. We keep the circle of family flowing and conversations going. And now you got 2 more friends and mates from across the pond that you can always count on, brother. Thanks again for coming on. And for the rest of you guys, see you next week. I think we might have the Cipher Scholars on. You think so? I'll talk to Trish. Trish will be on next week. She has some stuff to do. But we might have the Cipher Scholars, the first Cipher Scholars on next week, I think. I know the Travelers is part of that. That's coming up, next week?
Right. Yeah.
The Travelers Championship helps the Cipher Scholars, and we've had the first recipients of the Cipher Scholars already receive their scholarships, and we'll have them on either next week or the week after that. Thanks a lot on that. Let me see. Trish is hitting us up. Oh, she said yes. Okay, cool. Trish is doing something, but she's still tuned in and tuned out. She said yes, we'll have the Cipher Scholars on next week. So until then, remember, we are in the house and we are here. The Cipher Scholars will be on. Cool. I just hit that's Miss Clark's Golf Life. So we will have the Cipher Scholars on next week. And thanks a lot, Russ. Thanks a million, brother. Anything, anytime we can do anything, we here. And on that note, we out.